Hi guys, for this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this simple chain scrunchie. And I used 8-ply yarn, worsted weight yarn, acrylic, and I used a 5mm hook. And there's the 10-ply here if you want to see the yarn. It's not like worsted weight. It's like 2 strands of yarn together. And it's fairly thin, it tightens up pretty thin. But if you can get 10-ply yarn or worsted weight yarn, it works a lot better than using the 10-ply yarn. And also you're going to need a rubber band. It's probably better if you can get it without the metal, but you can use, it doesn't matter, you can use it. So take your yarn, make your slip knot, twist your yarn, fold it in half, make your pretzel, grab that yarn, pull, make your slip knot, take your rubber band, go through the rubber band, pull up some yarn. You have 2 loops on your hook, pull through both loops, and that's how you attach by a single crochet. And then you continue, go through, pull up a loop, pull through both loops, and continue to single crochet all the way around the rubber band until you get back up to the end. And I'll show you how to work around this metal piece. Wanted to show you, whenever you get up to the top here, kind of pull your stitches just a little tighter, not to where it's going to warp the rubber band, but that it's going to be nice and tight. See how this is starting to kind of warp it a little bit? So you can just pull your rubber band to loosen them apart, and then pull down to tighten them. You want to have all the piece of your rubber band covered, but don't push down your stitches too much to where it starts to twist or warp your rubber band. But the more stitches you can get on here, the better it looks. So it's a fine line of getting as much on here as you can without warping it too much. Okay, now we're getting here at the end where the metal piece is, and just keep working your single crochets across the metal piece here. Try to stay under it if you can, because I know this little metal part will start trying to grab it. Just push it, and when it's decently tight here and everything's covered, then you're good to go. It looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into this first stitch. Then you want to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you want to slip stitch into that same space. Slip stitch into this space where you slip stitch before, which is the beginning stitch from the first round where you connected your yarn to your rubber band. Just slip stitch into that one and chain 10 again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, slip stitch into that same space. Then one more time, chain 10, and slip stitch into that same space. Now chain 10 again, and slip stitch into the stitch to the left. And that is going to count as your first chain in this stitch. You want to have at least 3 connections into this one stitch. You can kind of see over here, you had this first connection where you slip stitched, and then that's where you slip stitched the second time, and that's where you slip stitched the third time. And then once you have those 3 connections in one chain, you move to the second. We slip stitched now into this chain. As you can see, there's only 1 connection. So chain 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we make our second connection into that stitch. See, now you have 2 connections into that stitch. Chain 10 again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to make our third and final slip stitch into this same stitch. And now you can see we have 3 connections into that same stitch. Now chain 10 again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this one you slip into the next stitch to the left. And you continue to do that all the way around for all the stitches till you get back up to the beginning. And it's going to look something like this. Guys, I wanted to give you a little tip here when you get going. As you can see, I've like halfway done. It gets a little more difficult to make your connection. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is my last connection in this one. You can see I have a little wide line here. Just slip stitch and keep pulling up until this knot ties, and then you can just shrink down your loop again. And I'll show you again. 7, 8, 9, 10. Get a little closer here. And you get down here and you make your connection. See, you have so much yarn here. What you do is just pull through and then just pull up your loop until that tightens, and then you can pull your yarn back down. Just makes it easier to make the connection when you have all this stuff in the way. Hi, when you get to the end of the scrunchie here, all you gotta do is find this last stitch here. Just slip stitch into the last stitch and chain 1. Cut your yarn, pull it tight, and then hide your tail. I usually like to use the stitches that are around the rubber band themselves to pull my pull my tails through. And pull them through a few times, then pull your rubber band to make sure that it's going to hide it like that. And then you can cut your excess depending on how much you want to try to hide it. And there you go. That's your simple chain scrunchie. I hope you like this tutorial. If you do like this tutorial, please click like, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.